So I learned how to put on a front so I didn't seem like a punk, and that unhealthy habit of repressing my emotions and trying to be strong all the time transferred into my adulthood.
Think your depression's getting worse? Here's how to tell and how to get support. Hello and welcome back to another interesting video in our YouTube channel. We hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. In today's video, we will talk about depression, if it is getting worse, its symptoms, and how you can get support. So without wasting any further time, let's jump straight into the video. Depression is a slow killer. Depression is one of the most talked about mental health issues in the whole world. It is a very serious issue and therefore, it should not be taken lightly at all. If you are living with depression, it means that you have a mixture of both good days as well as bad days. Don't get it? Let us elaborate. On days which are good, your mood will be a bit brighter as compared to the other days. Your mind will also feel clearer and you will see more of yourself within you. On the other hand, bad days make you feel a complete opposite of what you experience on good days. On the not so good days, you feel a metaphorical yet very much physical fog around you, which sends your mood spiraling down. It leaves you with a feeling of loneliness and numbness. You feel very low and it feels like your energy has been draining from your body. We are talking about the beginning of depression. Over time, if neglected, depression can go from bad to worse real quick. As time passes, the pain and the lowness intensifies, which as a result causes depression to get severe. If this continues, you start questioning whether you will ever be able to feel happy or at the very least normal again. Depression does not always come with a warning sign. Different types of depression exhibit an array of symptoms, and these symptoms creep out slowly and steadily. Most of us fail to recognize the small day-to-day signs and changes in your mood until one day we suddenly realize that we feel empty and hollow from within. If you are experiencing mild symptoms of depression, it can get noticed if they suddenly become overwhelming and persistent. If you are experiencing any sort of symptom that we talked about now, do not waste any time and go visit a primary care doctor, a therapist, or any other healthcare professional who is well-versed in the area of depression and psychology. If you wish to start treatment for curing it, the first step is to visit a therapist and talk about what you are experiencing. Doing so will give you a pretty accurate idea of what you should do next. Now we will talk about some symptoms which determine the presence of depression. Apparent symptoms of depression. As we mentioned earlier, when you have depression, you feel hollow from within. There are some apparent signs in your behavioral pattern which hint at the presence of depression. Let's take a look at some of them. Nothing you think of doing piques your interest. When you are suffering from depression, it decreases your energy levels significantly. You feel depleted all the time. It feels as if your energy has been stolen from within you. Another common symptom is that you feel no sense of pleasure in even the activities that used to excite you before. For example, if you were an avid reader before, you will not feel joy when you hold a book in your hand. If you loved cooking, you will not even feel like cooking something that you enjoy eating. As you start recovering, you will feel the difference. You will start noticing that your interest suddenly starts rising again in activities that you despised when you were depressed. However, if your depression is worsening, you experience a total opposite. You might even find it difficult to gather energy for exercising, socializing, or even getting out of your bed. You will feel like avoiding responsibilities, ignoring friends and colleagues, or worst of all, you might even want to stay isolated. Worse symptoms also include not doing even the most basic of things, such as brushing your teeth and taking a bath. You feel like staying isolated and alone most of the time. Depression makes you feel like you are better off alone. It attacks your self-esteem and worth. As depression increases, you will find it harder and harder to enjoy or even stay in the company of friends. There could be many possible reasons for this. You might not feel like talking in groups or even with another person one-on-one simply because you do not have the required amount of energy left in you to do so. When you are numb emotionally, it can make the social interactions you partake in pointless. Another reason why you may not want to socialize is because you might be feeling guilty, irritable, or even worthless. These feelings can corrupt your mood, and avoiding people might feel like the best option that you have. One thing to remember is that wanting to spend time alone for your own happiness is different than this. When you feel lonely and sad because of depression, it is natural that you feel like you do not want to socialize. However, we advise you to seek the help of a professional. If you do not pay proper attention to your growing depression, it will take a form of its own, which will harm you even more. Your mood keeps fluctuating. Another point that you should remember is that how you experience the signs and symptoms might also suggest the evolution of your depression towards the negative side. Let us explain it to you in an elaborate way. Earlier, the symptoms may have stayed stable throughout the day. That is, you might have not felt a sudden jump in the sadness and emptiness meter. However, over time, they might start exhibiting a periodic pattern. You might experience an increase in the severity of depression in the mornings, evenings, or even at night. Another common pattern in these situations is that you might feel okay for one day, but in the next one, you feel as heavy as a stone from inside. This happens when your depression is at the peak, and thus it does not show any regular pattern. The only way to overcome this is to seek help from a healthcare professional who understands your situation properly. You sense a change in your eating as well as sleeping pattern. Depression attacks your appetite and sleep in a very dangerous way. Eating healthy and sleeping properly is the key to getting better, which is why it is so alarming when depression causes you to avoid eating and sleeping. Talking about changes in your appetite, you may start consuming more food than usual, or you might not want to eat at all. In the second case, you might just have to force feed yourself in order to keep your body functioning. Similarly, sleep also seems to get affected in the same way. You might sleep throughout the day to avoid feeling numb and depressed, or you will not be able to sleep, and as a result, your mind will continue to suffer. Both of them are equally stressful. Facing trouble at falling asleep at night might make you want to nap during the day, which as a result will further deplete your energy and reduce concentration. How to get help? We have talked about the apparent symptoms of depression and how it can affect your mind and body. However, once you recognize the harmful traits and patterns, you can finally take a step towards getting rid of it. We will now talk about how you can get help and beat depression. Therapy. One of the most useful things when it comes to fighting depression is seeking the help of a life counselor or a therapist. A therapist listens to all your problems, and after going through it all, he or she advises you on what you should do and what you should avoid in order to get better. Therapists also have a non-disclosure policy which forbids them to disclose the information you share with them to anyone. Therefore, you can be completely honest about what is bothering you. Therapists may give you a prescription for certain medicines, or they might ask you to perform activities related to yoga or meditation, which will help you in the recovery process. Medication plan. Sometimes only therapy is not enough to cure your depression. Therefore, you might also need to visit a professional doctor for a complete diagnosis. Combined treatment plans are known to work the best when it comes to cases of depression. Therefore, you should always seek professional advice before sticking to any medication plan. Proper diagnosis and the right medication combined with therapy will do wonders for your mental health. Other methods. Apart from professional therapy and medication treatment, you can also opt to go for some unconventional methods, such as taking a vacation to another state, or if you have the means, to another country with people who are close to you. Doing so will assist you in getting out of your zone and getting a fresh perspective on the world. You can also opt for group therapy sessions because people find strength in solidarity. Apart from these methods, there are several other ways, such as writing down what you are feeling in a journal every day and cleansing the mind by doing spiritual reading. This is it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We will be back with another helpful video soon. Until then, take care and stay safe.